My name is Alberta Brinson Moore. I'm a parent of a special needs scholar at Dorsey High School in South Los Angeles. I'm a third generation LAUSD family. I serve on the LAUSD Sunshine Committee. I'm an active member of SpeakUP's African American Parent Advocacy Team, and currently I'm on the response team of South Los Angeles. I'm here today to talk about the fact that parents were largely excluded from the process of shaping this distant learning agreement. Even though I served on the committee that is designed to give parents input into labor agreements, parents on the Sunshine Committee were not briefed by the district after the district's negotiations begun. Community members asked LAUSD for details. We heard very little and got most of our information from UTLA's website. Last meeting, we heard comments about parents should stop complaining and ask how we can help. I want you to know that parents with the privilege of time, like myself, have been asking, how can we help? How can we do so? We have been shut out. We requested a public meeting to discuss distant learning while there was time to have an impact. And there was no mention in the MOU of including parents in distant working groups. I'd like to ask, how do you propose parents help? What mechanisms are you creating for us to do so going forward since school starts next week? There's no time to ask LAUSD and UTLA to go back to the table and improve this agreement. Also, as someone who regularly volunteers her time in South LA community, actually last weekend, I was going door to door with my mask on, letting parents know school starts next week. And right now, as a person who has feet on the ground, I want you to know parents are struggling right now with high unemployment, poverty, threats of evictions, homelessness, illness, and deadly pandemic that's devastating our community. Parents who are fortunate enough to be working are really struggling to figure out how they will be able to keep their jobs, oversee their kids' education without any childcare. Many parents are frazzled, barely have time to breathe. Some of the comments are lacking empathy and understanding for the situation most parents are facing. I'm surprised and quite frankly expected better. As a mom who is retired from my professional obligations, I have the luxury of time to volunteer. Many parents do not. As for the details of this agreement, my son got no live teaching interaction and just 3 to 4 speech therapies in the spring. So I'm happy to see that the agreement includes more interaction. However, one of the requests made by the Parent SpeakUP survey was to record the live lessons so that parents have the flexibility to go back and watch them later if they had Wi-Fi or childcare issues, or just to review the materials. So in concluding, we want to be a partner. Please include the parents in this partnership.
I'm a parent in Board District 6, and my daughter attends GALS, which co-locates at Panorama High School. I'm also a parent engagement coordinator with SpeakUP, and I work with district and charter parents in the San Fernando Valley. Parents of district students who are sharing space with charter schools will also be impacted by this new policy. The new rules make it harder for charter schools on LAUSD campuses to move into private spaces, and this is the case with GALS, which has never had its own campus. I have been hoping that would change, but if this new proposed policy passes, I don't expect it will. The policy also makes it harder for charters already on private sites to move to a new private location if there is an issue with their site. As a result, district parents can expect a flood of new Prop 39 applications from charter schools needing to move back onto LAUSD campuses to share space with your schools. When that happens, remember, it is a result of what the board is doing today. I know of some very hostile situations where charter students have been targeted, bullied, locked in bathroom stalls, and called invaders and disease carriers. And district parents often have legitimate concerns about losing some spaces used for labs and the arts. When board members like Ms. Goldberg, Mr. Schmerelson criticize co-locations, but then turn around and make it harder for charters to secure private facilities so they don't have to share space, it makes me wonder whether you actually want these difficult co-locations because they help fuel your anti-charter political agenda. Parents, on the other hand, just want solutions that work for all kids. We want peace from the divisive and hateful rhetoric. Because of distance learning, more parents are turning to charters and other options to keep kids on track. Parents appreciate that charters are held accountable for how well they are serving students. I would love for all LAUSD schools to be held accountable too. This new policy does not put kids first. It feels like an attempt during a pandemic to take away parents' rights to choose the best school for our kids.
Thank you.
I'm asking the board to oppose current charter policy draft and instead adopt the recommendations of the California School Board Association and amend it in January when the state weighs in with its recommendations. Why are we rushing through the process with school starting in less than a week? I think that distance learning plans would be your sole focus. Most of the district parents, some of mine who called in today, want you to focus on improving distance learning for kids and coming up with childcare solutions to help working parents instead of wasting your time on this.
Good morning, dear board members. My name is Maryam Qudrat, and I'm a parent at Milliken Middle School in Board District 3. As an educator, I created the National E-Learning Plan for Afghanistan, where it was too dangerous for many girls to attend school in person. I had insight to offer LAUSD that they could have tapped into if there was only a way for parents like me to be an official part of the process of improving education in LA. To be clear, parents at Milliken specifically called for a public board discussion of the fall distance learning negotiations in numerous meetings with most of you board members. We specifically asked Jefferson Crane to place this on the agenda for one of Jackie Goldberg's committee of the whole meetings, because I understand that parents have that right. But we were denied. The parents were never given the chance to address this critical issue until now, 1 week before school begins. And despite the fact that many parents do not believe this agreement provides adequate amount of instruction for secondary students, it feels like it's just too late for us to make a difference at this point. The goal of parents is purely focused on the kids. And to that end, we've supported teachers to support the kids. Our parent input should not be viewed as a nuisance, but Jackie Goldberg has characterized us as complainers. Now, here we are with a block schedule announced at my son's school, UTLA focused on a political agenda that is not central to my child's constitutional right to an education. Where is the Board of Education on this? No distance learning on any of your meeting agendas until this subpar deal has become a fait accompli. What have you done to serve the parents and the students? There's a school board election on November 3rd, and the parents are watching how this whole thing unfolded. Whose voices controlled the process? Whose voices were shunted aside? Here's the specific ask. We ask that you specifically edit this agreement to give parents equal representation with both UTLA and LAUSD on the distance learning working groups. There's 5 spots UTLA, 5 spots LAUSD. We'd like 5 spots for parents. Parents deserve an equal voice in our kids' education and in the process for setting grading policies, discussing assessments, making sure distance learning actually works for the kids. One parent appointed by LAUSD cannot possibly represent all the diverse needs of parents across Los Angeles. Parents need an equal voice, and anything less will be cheating our children.